I don't know. What's the hook gonna be? What do you think should the hook? What the hook gonna be? Hey, I don't need no hook on
You
this beat. Hey, that was your joint back in the
okay?
day.
I don't even know what song that is.
You don't know what song that is? That's like a
Mm-mm.
That's like uh. It was like St. Louis. That was around like the Nelly era. I don't know if it was Nelly or if it was Jaquan, but it was one of those people. What's the name of the
Okay.
podcast? What's the name of the what are we naming the
I
podcast?
thought we were gonna do Dear Homeowner.
Dear, dear. Well, how about dear home buyer?
Dear Dear Home Buyer.
Because we ain't talking to the
Yeah,
sellers
but that
yet. We
sounds
ain't
like homely. I think we
home
need
buyer.
something
Dear
better.
home buyer. We'll figure it out.
I think we need something better.
Let's figure it out right now. So we had dear home buyer, dear home owner,
Mm-hmm.
uh, road to ownership.
No.
No.
Why don't
Property
we
talk.
do? Whoa. Can you edit that photo? Can you give me a
Yeah.
background? Cause I'm wait.
I can't give you a background.
Wait. What's happening?
We can edit all
Um.
this out. We don't gotta worry. We don't gotta keep it.
Okay. Um.
Okay. What's her name? Okay.
China.
Okay. All right.
No, we can name it. Um. I don't know. Jim's podcast.
Am I the host? Or am I the co-host? You the host? I'm who the host? I'm the host? Am I right?
We're both let's both
I
be the
know.
hosts.
I know, right? Equality. Let's go. Let's go. Equal pay for women.
Okay. Right. Right. What's today's topic?
All right. So, yo, we gotta have a name. What is the name?
Wait, pause. Can you
We don't have to pause. We can just cut it out.
Oh, okay. What's the name of the podcast?
What's the name of the podcast?
I liked Dear Home Buyer at first. But then we're gonna have to have an intro. Then we're gonna have to.
We're gonna do it all right now.
Okay.
What's the name?
So, do you have like I think you should do the little clappy things. You know, this is cool because people like to see stuff like this.
Yeah.
People are weird. People like to see things like this, so it can be
Yeah.
fine. But
Yeah.
not people are weird, but you know,
Clean that
some
up for the
are
people.
Right.
They're gonna be like, she talk about I'm weird. All right.
Okay, so for the intro, I think you can do the clapping
Okay.
thing.
Hit him with the.
Okay, and do you have
What's-
like a little music?
I don't have no music. I can get some, but we probably have to get it cleared and stuff like that. I don't got no beats. I got some beats, but we could probably, we can
Now
edit it
you
all.
got beats.
I used to own
Now
a
you
recorder.
Dr. Dre.
That's crazy. I used to own a recording studio. I used to be a songwriter. I used to make beats.
Now you own everything.
Yo, listen, I'm a
Okay,
very
Dre.
talented. I'm a very talented young man. It's not
Okay.
just the real estate. It's not just the sales. I got layers. I'm like an onion, baby. You feel me?
What other sound effects do you have?
I got.
Do you have a doorbell? Do you have a doorbell?
Nah.
Do you have like an opening door or something?
Nah. So on this sound effect, on this sound effects kind of thing, it doesn't have that. It's just these little things right here.
So
I probably can add some. Yeah, I could probably add some later. But nah, not right now. I'm gonna get it together. How we gonna set it off? How you doing? What's going on, guys? My name is Property Jim.
And my name is Shariah.
And this is.
Rewind.
All right.
Go ahead.
What's going on, guys? My name is Property Jim.
And my name is Shariah, or Shea the
And
Realtor.
what you want to go by? We gotta figure it
I
out.
mean,
We need a tag name.
but like, are my $1 million clients gonna be like, "Hey, Shea"? Like, isn't that a
Yes,
bit
they gonna call
ghetto?
you Shay. That's your name. What makes it
My
ghetto?
name is not Shea. My name is
I know
Shariah.
your name is Shariah, but if cousins and TT call you Shay, listen. What? How'd you get Shay? Why Shay from Shariah? Where did that come from?
Because when I used to back in the day, I used to go to parties, and one of the party promoters, he gave me a nickname. Like everybody had a nickname, and I didn't have a nickname, and he was like, "You could be Shea Godiva." And then as I got older, I dropped the Godiva and just went by Shea.
Nah, you need to keep the Godiva. Shay Godiva. You sound like a vixen. You sound like you finna do some
See?
things. All right.
What?
All right. No. Oh, you should keep Shay Godiva, and then with your clients, every time you meet them, what we was talking about a little bit earlier, bring them a gift, bring them a box of Godivas. Boom.
Maybe. Okay, let's start.
Boom.
Go ahead.
See? You see how I pay attention to you too, right?
Yeah, thank
I'm
you.
good. I got you. All right, cool. So let's start over, right? What's going on, guys? My name is Jim Edwards, also known as Property Jim.
My name is Shariah Eldridge. I am also known as Shea the Realtor.
And this is our podcast that we do not have a name for yet. However, we're working on it. Right now we have Dear Home Buyer. Maybe you guys can help us out and help us name it. We got Property Talk, got Dear Home Buyer. I was thinking about Road to Ownership. We got some things, so maybe we can make a little thing. Put some in the comments. What you think? Out of those three, which one you like best? Let us know, and that would be the name of your podcast, of your show, as you're at whatever this is, our community, whatever we're building right now. It's gonna be fun. Welcome to the ride. So what's up?
Do the clap thing.
Oh, okay, my bad. Excuse me.
I think it would be cool if you do the clap thing after you say your name and after I say my name.
All right. We're not gonna do it up because we already did it. It's done.
Okay.
Next time.
Fine.
Next episode.
Let's dive in.
What are we talking about today? What you want to talk about today?
So today we're talking about what home buyers need to do to prepare for the journey of home ownership.
Okay. That sounds cool. I think that's a very important topic. A lot of people are confused about that, and they want to know how to get started. Because when they come to us, they think we got all the answers for them. It's like, we can guide you through it, but you gotta have the work done in a little bit, So let's give them something that they can go home, do some homework, and when they get to us, they're ready to rock and roll, right? All right, so
what do you think is the most important part that a person should start thinking about beforehand?
I have a couple of things. I'll tell you mine, you tell me yours. All right. So the main thing I think people should worry about is money. How are they going to get their down payment? How are they going to pay for their closing costs? How are they going to pay for it? Because I feel like after that, everything else can be solved through research and more education. The only thing that will probably take time will probably be like the money, or more of a strategy is the money. What do you think?
I agree with the money, because if you don't have any money, you can't do anything. Like there's a lot of things going around saying that you can do all of this with no money down. I feel like that is a I feel like people are misled by that.
There's always money. May not be your money, but this money is how this world goes round, how this real estate thing goes round. But
I definitely think that, to begin with, you have to consider the cost. And like you said, doing research is really important, because that is the only way that you're going to accurately put together a plan for yourself where you have said, okay, this is how it take to achieve this goal. Let me be realistic. Let me not listen to what's on social media and on the TVs, and let me set aside a goal to make the purchase and to also, furnish my home when I get it. To also have money on this, on the side in case of emergency. All of those kind of things are, to be considered. So I definitely think considering the cost, the down payment, you need to consider. You need to consider your closing costs. You need to consider what you're going to put for a earnest deposit. That's, saying, I'm serious about this purchase. And, so I think considering that is key. So money is definitely a big issue or a big consideration.
Yeah, the money, the initial money, what we call in the business is your skin in the game. How are you going to come up with your skin in the game and the equity that you're bringing to the table? Yeah.
How did you come up with your down payment for your home?
I did a couple of things. So I did a combination of like 3 things, right? All right. So the first thing I did was I was a realtor. So I was part-time at the time. So anything that I would have sold, I just stacked the money. Like I closed a couple of houses. I sold like 4 houses, and I saved all of that money. And then also I had a really good habit of saving all of my income tax money. So anytime I will get like, I get a lot of money back from income tax. I get like 6,000, 5,000, 7,000, and I'll just stack it. I won't touch it. Then the other thing, I was in college at the time when I first bought my first house, and I was getting tuition reimbursement. Right, so technically, I was supposed to be putting that money towards the payment of the loan, or however I was financing the classes. But what I was doing, I just stacked it because my thought process was, I'm gonna be able to afford my my loan payments, my student loan payments, because I was buying a duplex. My goal was to buy a duplex, live in one, and rent the other one. So that was my goal. So I was like kind of flipping it. It was like flipping the money. And then also some of my 401k, because the house I bought, my first house, it was a short sale, so it needed work. So I needed cash I had to redo the bathroom, do some painting. I had to redo the floor of the upstairs bathroom. So I needed money, cash to like, fix it up. So what I did was I did a loan and a withdrawal from my 401k. And when you purchase real estate, it's not a penalty when you pull from your 401k. So those are the 4 options that I did to get the money in. Like I said earlier, those things are very important to think about, because some of that stuff take time, right? So getting income tax, that takes time. You got to wait a whole year for that. If you have a secondary income, I was able to have my real estate license. So I was selling homes, so that was my secondary income. I was just stacking that. And then, investments like within your 401k, you may not know how much. If you have 401k, you've been with your job a long time, you may have a mad money in there that you don't even know that you could tap into to take care of that, and make that happen. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting that you brought up the tax returns, because I know that like a lot of people, and I'm not one of those people that's going to be like, oh, you got your tax money, now you want to go shopping or whatever like that. I know that there's a lot of stuff, that is misrepresented to people about how they deal with their money. However, I do think that it is a pretty great idea, especially for women that are single mothers that have either, I mean, you can have one kid or multiple children, and you save your tax returns towards your house. I think that's a good idea, especially for single parents, because sometimes a lot of single mothers or unmarried mothers will say, I don't want to buy a house until I get married, but it's like, you can do it. Just, tap into your resources. So I think that's a pretty good idea. I like that idea.
Yeah.
401k is also really
I
you
was
can't be
saying,
cutting me off, yo.
my bad. I was gonna add to your point. It is because if you got kids, you can get back a nice pretty penny, from your income tax. Um, and yeah, stack it, and if you talk about numbers, it doesn't take much to get that skin in the game. Like, if, let's say, right, if you have you buy a $300,000 house, right? Say you get a FHA 3.5 down, right? That's 10 grand, $10,500, right? I'm sure somebody got a 10 grand tax return, if it wasn't 10 grand, then it was 8, but then you got 2 stimulus checks,
Right.
this last year.
Right.
Boom, you got your down payment. We may have to still work with the closing costs, but there's ways to get that money too, depending on if you work with one of the goats out there, the real estate agents that know about concessions and know how to get them even in the seller's market, then you can make things happen. But yeah, there's ways to get it. You just got to get that initial skin in the game. Once you have it and you know what the funds are for, you rock it. You set that your goal, put that in the account, don't touch it.
And 401k, a lot of companies match your 401k up to a certain percentage, so that's also good. And a lot of people are nervous about cashing out their 401k or tapping into their investment for the future or for retirement. I say don't be scared of that, because your house is going to be probably will be a bigger asset to you in retirement than your 401k will be. And that's just the truth of the matter. And a lot of people, not saying a 401k is a bad thing, but if you have money in your 401k and trying to complete this purchase, go ahead and complete the purchase. Like, don't be afraid. I also think selling your clutter is a good way of saving up towards your goal. A lot of people have tons of things. I was actually reading this book called The Afro Minimalist, and it's written by an African American female author. I read, do the claps, because I be reading.
There you go. You be reading. We gotta normalize reading. That's what we.
And it talks about how it's catered towards the African American culture, but it's really for anyone who wants to operate out of not lack, but less, in terms of I don't need 8 pairs of Christian Louboutins, or I don't need 40 pairs of Nike sneakers. I don't need all of these bags. For women, these are some of the things that we get in abundance of, and it's like, sell it. It's clutter, or even antiques, or art, or different things that you really just, it's not a necessity, you don't love it, you just bought it. So I think that selling your clutter is a great way to start saving for your house, or adding money to whatever you have already saved. I think that taking on a second job is also good. Like, if you get your real estate license, it's a great way for you to stack money on the side while you are going through this process. Another thing is to cut out spending that you don't need. I don't know about y'all, but Uber Eats, that thing, I have spent so much money in Uber Eats.
So much bread. Sometimes I be contemplating, like, yo, do I need these chicken wings tonight? Like, what do I got in that refrigerator right now that I could cook? I spend mad money with Uber Eats, and I
Yeah,
can't. I gotta chill out. Uber Eats is
yeah,
caking right now. It's
right.
convenience. It's
Yeah,
the
like
convenience.
$300. You right? It's convenient, and I mean, you can just go food shopping. But cutting out your non-essentials is key, and tapping into your resource. You just get up in the middle of the show.
No.
You know what we're gonna call this?
It's
The
a
ghetto
podcast.
podcast.
It's the podcast too. So some people don't even know that I just got up unless you just said something. God,
Right.
I was closing the
But
door
it's going
because
on YouTube.
outside is loud. They get it. Whatever. They like that part.
Okay, and so clearing up your clutter, right? Taking on a second income or second job. You know, there's Shopify. There's so many different outlets for you to do business nowadays where you can have a second income and also have your job, and you can tap into all three resources. Like it's not a problem. You just have to, think strategically. Um, and if y'all hear Spanish music in the background, that's me. Deal with it, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
you know.
And I think also, one thing I would suggest too is if you can find a way to live off of half of your income and have your employer split your paycheck. So let's say you're getting $3,000 a month, right, from your job, from your 9 to 5 job. You can ask your employer, your payroll department, to split your paycheck. So one part of your paycheck goes into your bills, your bills for the month, the things that you need to pay for, and then the other half of your paycheck can go into another account automatically, so you don't even have to think about it. Because a lot of times when it comes to saving, it's the thought that gets us. It's seeing it and the access. So take away that access from yourself and kind of, have them separated, and that can be like your home account. So those
Definitely.
are some good ways.
Yeah. I'm with it all. I'm with it all. And if you
Yeah.
don't want to take on no other job, just stack
Right.
that income tax
And aim
bread and go to school. Go to school. Go to school.
right. Go to
Uh,
school.
yo, I'm telling
And I
you.
also think, aim to come to the table with 15 to 20%. Like I know that,
Yeah.
certain loans will tell you, oh, you only have to have 3.5%.
3.5.
And that is true according to the loan. But that does not mean that it's going to meet the market's demands or that you're going to be able to move the way you want with it. So come to the table with as much as you can. I would aim for 15 to 20%. I saw something, a lot of people are posting saying you don't need 20%. Shariah is telling you you do. You do, because especially in a seller's market where homes are going for 40 above ask, you need money. Let's not play
Yeah.
games. I'm not going to play games with you. If I'm your realtor, I'm going to tell you the truth. It is my fiduciary responsibility to give you honesty and to give you the facts and to help you to navigate in this market. And we don't get there by making you think that this is okay. And it also depends on where you're living. So, like down south, that may work. In New York, it may not work.
Yeah. Connecticut. I seen things like that where I would have a buyer client that had 3.5 down, and they just be like, nah, dog. Like, people are coming up with 20-40% down, putting over asking, all cash. It was these last couple of months was crazy. We have never seen it. I haven't seen it like this. I've only been in the game for about 6 years, but I never seen it like this, and this was crazy. This was insane. You needed to have cash. The person with the biggest bag won right now.
Right. Big bank takes little bank.
Yeah. There's there's ways to acquire something with the 3.5 and with the FHAs. But you know, if you're going after something that was a little bit more sought after, a lot of single family houses were sought after. You're going after those, nah. Big bank takes little bank all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then also what a lot of people don't think about, and I'm sure you was gonna get to it, is yes, you need down payment money, but you also need closing cost money. So whatever you were gonna pay in down payment, just think about doubling it, because that's how much your closing cost is gonna be. Because closing costs is typically made up of usually all the taxes, the property taxes, because they want to make sure you reimburse the seller for what they paid the year, but then also that they have enough in escrow to meet the next quarters or the next half of the year's payment. And then also you have your the points for your loan, your attorney fees, your realtor fees, prepaids, which we haven't talked about, but prepaids as in your appraisal fee, your inspection fee, or any other professional you need to come on, that you need to hire on to make sure you're doing your due diligence in purchasing a property. You have to have money for that. So whatever your down payment, you're going to put in down payment, double it, because you're going to have to spend that on closing costs.
Right. And I mean, you might get to the closing table and something pops up. So that's my thing. That's why I'm always like, come with your highest and best, and come, ready to, because the man with the money wins. That's just what it is. So if you're at the closing table and something pops up, you want to be able to write a check and be like, here, all kind of things pop up, yeah, they pop up. So you never know. It could be
Somebody
a
got a
bill you
water
owed
bill.
8 months, right? 8 months ago, something like that. So yeah. So these are just little things these are little big things that, are needed for you to think about and begin to start processing and planning for. And like Jimmy said, like if you get a realtor who is, like one of us, who can work some things on your behalf, that's different. We come prepared, and if we can save you the money, we will. But we don't have any control over the final say. We can navigate, but you always want to be empowered to be like, you know what, I got this. So
definitely, you want to be able to, make the decision. Hey, I'm purchasing the property, no matter what. I'll say. So when I bought my first house, it was I said it was a short sale. So the original deal I wrote it was, they were asking 149 for it, and I put 159 to get back the 10 grand in closing costs. But being that it was a short sale, they was like, hey, you're gonna have to pay the seller's closing costs. So it was gonna be half. So, and how she worded it, it was a situation where it was like, would that be okay if we have to do something like that? But it wasn't a solid thing about this is what's happening. It wasn't until we got to the closing table when my attorney was like, you got 14,000 back, but you're getting 7 grand and they're getting 7 grand. You're paying their closing costs. You have to bring this extra money to the table. And I was like, what? Like, but in my head, I was like, you know what? The closing costs isn't the goal, right? The goal of doing this deal wasn't to get closing costs back. The goal is to purchase his house. So whatever money I had to put up, and luckily I was prepared for it.
Yeah. So what else? Credit. We need to touch on that.
Credit,
so we can clear up some
misconceptions
about this credit thing.
Everybody runs away from credit. They be like, but my credit score ain't nothing. Yo, you could get a mortgage with a 580 credit score. You be all right. And you have a high interest rate, but you can get it.
You'll be fine, right?
You'll be fine.
So typically on FHA, that's where you need the 580. On the conventional, well, that's the minimum. So the minimum that they are willing to accept is 580. VA, I think the methods have changed, but I know that the last time I checked, it was 580. Now I hear some people saying that some veterans that have went for the loan have come back and tell me that, you know, they're requiring 620. And
I'm not
on
too familiar with
conventional,
VAs.
it's 620.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And on conventional, it's 620. Now, I will be honest, the range you want to be in is different from the minimum that they'll accept. So I would say 640 is a safe
680.
range. You know, of
Me for
course,
me,
680, right?
680.
680 would be
680 is
much
always
better.
the.
Yeah.
You also
Six,
want to.
680 is the golden goose.
Yeah, but you want to make sure you're paying attention to the pillars of a credit score that controls everything, right? Let me pull something up real quick so I make sure I'm not saying anything incorrectly. So there are pillars of a credit score, and certain things weigh more than other things, right? So okay. Yeah, so certain things weigh more than other things. So the two big wigs of your credit score is made up of your payment history and then your utilization, right? So payment history meaning how often do you pay on time, right? And that's 35% of your credit score. And then the other big wig is your utilization, meaning how much of your credit amount do you use? And that's 30%. So 65% of your credit score you control, right? And how to mitigate that is okay, your utilization rule of thumb, make sure you don't use more than you don't, not that you don't use, you don't roll over or hold a balance over 30% of your total credit limits and on your revolving cards, not your loans or anything like that, just your revolving lines of credit. And then payment history, making sure you pay on time every time, and not saying that you need to pay the whole balance off, you just need to pay the minimum balance. You make a payment every month, the minimum balance, not what you want to give, the minimum they ask it for, you pay that every month to make sure you're at between 90% and 100%, and that would dramatically fix your credit score 100%.
So what's like a perfect credit score overall? Like I know
Perfect credit.
680 is the golden goose in terms of,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, as terms of getting approved for a home loan, you know, with a decent interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, but what is like the perfect credit score overall? Is it 700?
No, it goes to like 850 now. Let me pull up something. I heard about nine something, but it's 850. So it goes from 300 to 850, right? So 300 is like chow, 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 chow. 850,
Yeah.
that's, you get whatever you want. But 850 is more like a vanity. Like, some people have 800 credit scores, but it's a
Right. Yeah.
vanity. Once you get above 750, you have excellent credit, and there's not a lot of things that you
Mhm.
won't get approved for, especially revolving credit cards. So they take
Like
care of you on
when
that.
should a person, or what is a good time frame for a person to begin working on their credit before they go and purchase a home or even think about purchasing a home?
So you want to do it before you go to a mortgage broker, right? Because you want to see those results, taken care of already, right?
Mhm.
So you can do well. How long it took when I fixed my credit? It took me like 6
Mhm.
months. 6 months.
Right. And that
I,
that that also ties into like if you have the cash to clean up
yeah,
things, right?
yeah. You gotta have the money to pay. You either have the money to pay for the person to dispute things, or if there's things that you need to pay off and stuff like that. It takes time to pay that. I don't know your financial situation or how often you get paid, but with whatever is in your budget to hit those goals, you hit those goals, and you make it important to get it done, and you're gonna see your credit score jump up. And then also, when you go to a mortgage broker, your mortgage broker will let you know what to do. Hey, you have to take care of this debt, pay off this. There's things that they do within a loan and pay things off within your loan, to help you out. But, you know, it's important to make sure, your credit and you are stable within that situation, because that determines how much money you're going to pay back.
So I guess like finding out first of all, definitely finding out your credit score and finding out what's on your credit report is the start. So when you decide, okay, I want to become a homeowner, I'm tired of renting. Renting is not enough. The first thing, after I would think that checking your credit score and seeing what your debts are first, and knowing what's on your report would come before saving, because you don't want to start saving and then have to go back and pay this and pay that. So I think that what do you think?
I agree and disagree, right? The reason why I disagree, right, is because sometimes the capital is like the hardest thing to get to acquire, right? The credit score, things can be worked out. Things can be worked out. Strategies can be put in place to mitigate. So it just depends. Like, if you talk to your mortgage broker, they would tell you what you need to pay off. They would tell you, hey, fix this, fix this, fix that. They know their criterias. So I would say acquire the money first, like grow your money first, and then from there, you figure out, okay, what do I need to do to secure the loan, right? And then going back to what you were saying, monitoring your credit, I think people kind of, like, there's 3 credit bureaus, right? There's Equifax, TransUnion, and what is it called? Damn. Experian.
No, yeah. Experian is where you get it from.
It's Experian. Right? It's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, right? So what a lot of mortgage brokers do is they'll look at your middle score, right? They take all 3 scores and look at the one that's in the middle, and that's what they would count as your credit score. Because we all got Credit Karma, or our credit cards gives like our TransUnion, but sometimes that doesn't paint the whole picture of where you're at. So when you're monitoring your credit score, you want to make sure you know what your monitor. You want to make sure you know what your middle score is, and you can get those all for free. Like, Credit Karma gives you a good snapshot. What happened? Somebody fell?
No, I was wondering if they heard the big boom in the background, like fireworks.
Credit Karma gives you Equifax and TransUnion, and then you can get your Experian from nav.com, nav.com, and they give you your Experian. Or if you got an Amex card, they give you your Experian. So just different ways that you can get it for free, idea for free, opposed to if you pay like 123 creditreport.com or things like that.
Okay, that's good. So credit, savings, money. And then I think that the third major thing, major, is to set a goal, to have an idea of, and we can wrap up after this. Well, I shouldn't have said it like that. Let me start over. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. And the third thing is, definitely having a goal. Do your research, find out where you want to be, what you want in a home, how many bedrooms do you want. I used to work in Verizon Wireless, and one thing that I found was really cool, I had a customer who would come to me, and he had a picture on his phone. I used to work in the customer service department fixing people's phones. And he had on his phone a picture of a house. And I was like, is this the house that and ironically it was the house that he was actually looking to buy, looking to close on in a few months. But he explained to me that that he didn't want to add any, like, accessories to his account because he was watching his spending, and he was, going through the motions of, I'm in this thing and I'm serious about it. So I thought it was really cool that he had the picture on his phone to kind of set himself up for a visual of the goal that he was going towards. So I think it's important to, once you decide this is what I want, have it in your mind and go after it. Sometime after, I said after it, to go after it. I also think that it's good to write down what you want. Do your research, and compare that with what you can afford. Don't get into a situation where you're like, I want 8 bedrooms for $350. You're not gonna get it. Okay.
Not in New York.
So have an idea, right? Have an idea of what you want, where you want to be, why, and what's most important to you. Is a big, don't come to your realtor saying, I don't know what's important to me. No, know what's important to you. You have, like with anything else in life, know what it is that's important to you. And if you don't, guess, make a decision. Say I want 4 bedrooms.
We need something to input.
Right. Because we're advocating for you. We're not selling you a house. You have already decided that this is what you want. Our job is to help you during the transaction, to navigate you through the steps, to prepare you, and to get you what you already want. But you have to know what you want.
Yeah.
So do your research, look at what neighborhoods you want to be in, how many bedrooms you want. Start making decisions of this goal that you want. Even if you have to write it down, screenshot it on your phone, make a vision board. I know that's the new thing that everybody's doing.
You see behind me? There's this one.
Oh, okay.
And there's another one right here. I write everything down. Everything that I've been able to achieve, it's been on a board at some point.
Right.
Puff Daddy and Jay-Z is actually looking at me right now. Like everything that I want to achieve, I put it on a board. And it was funny. Sorry to cut you off, but that's a good point. It's funny that you say, like, the guy had it on his phone, because I definitely had a Mercedes SUV, a multifamily house, and like a thing that represent like cash flow going up on my phone before I bought my house. On your screensaver? Yeah, on my screensaver before I bought my house. And that was the goal. I kept looking at it. I was like, if you put it in the universe, if you tell the universe that's what you want, you're going to get it all the time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, keep going.
Yeah, you are. And, also consider what you can afford. We talked about that last time on the show. That has no name yet. But, affordability is key, right? How much do you want to spend monthly? How much are you willing to spend monthly? Some people are like, well, I'm only willing to spend this month, this much, but they've done no research. Do your research and then decide, okay, based off of what I'm seeing, I can afford this. And then, like you said, maybe adding a second source of income to it. And maybe we can talk about that on an episode, how to, get a second source of income so that you can kind of like achieve some goals off of that, but definitely having a goal and being strategic about it is definitely the third major thing. So it's saving, money, credit, and having a goal. And all of those things are revolving around your goal and leading to it.
Let me add to the goal a little bit. Everybody, there's a lot of things you could do when purchasing real estate, right? You can want to purchase real estate to start investing by purchasing like a multifamily house, right? That may be a strategy for somebody. Some people may want a single family house because they have a growing family and that's, their goal. Or you may want a co-op or a condo. Those are things that you need to figure out as well, because there's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of options, when purchasing real estate. Also, where do you want to be at? What towns you want to be at? I'm in Connecticut. It'd be a lot of times people would be like, I don't want to live no more than an hour. But it's like, all right, there's a lot of ways you can do that. You can come up to 95 and don't go farther than, probably Milford, or you can go the other way and go to Danbury, and, which way you want to be, what town you want to live in. And there's perks and pros and cons to every town. Do you know about the school system? Do you know about the amenities in the area? Do you know about, your travel time? Although it's an hour straight, what about traffic, stuff like that? Where's the Metro North? There's things that you got to do research as well. And yes, your real estate agent could or your realtor is there to guide you through certain things, but certain things you got to do the research yourself, because ultimately this is going to be where you are going to be at. And you have to be okay with it. And it got to be the decision that came from you that works best for your situation and your family.
Yep, I agree.
All right, so let's wrap it. So we wrapping it up?
Yeah.
Shea the Realtor? What's your name? Not Shea?
Nope. Don't call me. Ladies and gentlemen, do not call me talking about, can I speak to Shea? I'm be like, who is this? That's fine. You can call me Shea the Realtor. That's fine. Hello, yes.
Call her by her name.
So
Shariah.
We can wrap up.
All right, cool.
And we'll see you guys same bat place, same time next week.
Same time next week. Should we do an applause or something? Listen, we're working. We're getting this together.
We're working in
progress.
We're
almost there.
We're working in progress.
Watch. We're going to be
take away the meat and spit out the bones.
Yeah, we're going to be a well-oiled machine come a year, 5 years.
No.
By the third?
By like the third episode, we're going to be a well-oiled machine.
It takes 18 cycles to get something into memory.
It's going to take by three. By the third time, we need to be the third.
All right, cool. That's it, y'all. Holla. This is Property Jim signing out.
All right, bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We don't have any giveaways at this time, and we don't have any T-shirts.
Just let us know in the comments what you think the name should be. That's what we need. All right.
Okay.
Bye.